It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you for that Monday night boxing recap known as the Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish, Drew Evo. What you got there in your hand, man? That looks like your quarterback card. Who that?
Rookie Jalen Hurts card.
What is the face value on that card? Saludos, everybody joining us. Shout out to Nando Lama, Sonteo Media. On a very slow Monday for boxing, Drew's already got football on his mind, and it's going to be an amazing Friday night, Drew, because I get to look forward to the Niner Nation right here in Las Vegas against the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to SB joining us. That's right. Preseason is almost done. The 49ers got 4 days of rest, and people say Brock Purdy looked like shit this past week. But guys, he was our offensive starting line wasn't even in there. But you know, Drew, quarterback talk, you got that quarterback card right there. Everybody's tripping off, worried about their quarterbacks, rightfully so. The Raiders, O'Connell no longer in the starting position. How is he doing, Drew? How is your starting quarterback doing? Is he healthy?
Hasn't thrown a pick yet in training camp.
All right. And who's your last preseason game?
I forget, but I look at it like this. Nando, this is not a $5 card. It's more like a $160 card.
Shout out to anybody who's willing to buy that. Hello to Mom Food Planning Things. Make sure you guys go check out her. She's got an awesome YouTube channel. I'm very excited. 49ers in Las Vegas again. And obviously the last time the Niners were here in Las Vegas, it didn't pan out the way I would have liked it. But shout out to all the Niner Nation, Niner Gang, and everybody out there anxiously awaiting college football and the return of NFL. So that leads me to Drew when we start in the football show.
I guess we can start it.
This Thursday.
The first week of the season.
Oh man, I might do some. I might have to find a Raiders fan. If there's a Raiders fan out there that wants to do some tailgate talk this Thursday night, Drew's invited, of course. But I am very anxious about this, about getting this underway, and partly because right now we're on a kind of like a boxing lull. We had, a decent fight card, something interesting to talk about. I made the thumbnail. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Christian Mbilli, the state of the 168-pound division as Canelo gets into high gear. And Drew, Edgar Berlanga, man, I've been having some casual boxing fans that support the channel, ask me about who is Edgar Berlanga, man, and Canelo going to knock him out. I said, of course he's going to knock him out. But now it's starting to look personal as Big Mouth Berlanga has been running his mouth talking about he's going to knock out Canelo in 6 rounds. The boy is tripping, but I think, hey, anything you got to do to psych yourself up, man. This is the shot of a lifetime, right?
Anything to hype yourself up to take a nice punch by Canelo to get knocked out.
Somebody's got to believe it. Listen, it was a slow week for boxing. One of the most interesting things that I heard all week was, of course, Oscar de la Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, the Golden Boy. He did a long sit-down interview with Shay. Obviously they broke the internet when that comedian went on there. So Oscar had to go up on there. And, they brought up the fishnets again, Drew, and that was obviously a big focal point of the conversation, the whole fishnet scandal. And, Oscar was extorted in that incident, Drew. He says it was just, he was at a low point in his life, a lot of drugs. He's mentioned that in his autobiography film. Low point in his life, a lot of drugs. There was some potential Russian extortion scheme and whatnot. But he was like, it's all good. I'm comfortable with it. And what man hasn't played around in women's lingerie and worn some? Well, obviously, Drew, midweek, I was looking forward for Clapback Thursdays with Oscar because it seems he's like Gen Z now, right? He wants to be breaking the internet all the time, him and his 37-year-old fiance, girlfriend, whatever. But y'all know he tried to break the internet and he got thrown down from Instagram. You've seen, everybody has seen that, right?
I don't understand Oscar's motivation when it comes to doing certain things and everything. Like this recent thing that he did, like, dude, what the hell are you doing? It's just really a fucking disgrace.
Well, apparently the interview wasn't good enough, Drew. The interview wasn't good enough. They need more attention than that. They needed even more attention than that. So, if you guys are Instagram or whatnot, he had a statement for you. I just got taken down. My last post was all in good fun, and haters reported it who hate seeing me happy. Okay. And his girlfriend, Holly, had a statement too. We both posted a funny video an hour ago. I got taken down on both of our accounts due to lames reporting it. Oscar had 6,000 comments in 30 minutes. I guess some people really hate to see us having fun. The good news is we will be back tomorrow with more. A slow week in boxing, Drew. Dancing in a thong bikini as a man. Will that help sell that Henderson house? You know that house is up for sale, $17 million. Hey, you can get it. I'll represent you guys. I'll represent you. I'm trying to get my real estate license right now. A very slow week for boxing. Obviously, we will be we might as well get right into the conversation about this weekend's Top Rank show. And I'd love to know what you guys think. Obviously, the thumbnail was Christian Mbilli, the 168-pound kind of dark horse. Is he still the dark horse? Let's start off with the beginning of the card. Let's get right into the beginning. Abdullah Mason, Drew Evo. People were starting to sing him high praises. I think Timothy Bradley says he sees him getting a title opportunity in just a year. But we've seen how Top Rank matches their top prospects that they're trying to turn into contenders. In fact, Xander Zayas looks like he's taking a step back after beating a former champion. I thought he would get into the mix with all these badass mother effers at 154. Now it seems like he's taking a step back. What's up with that? How is Abdullah Mason going to go from prospect to contender in 1 year? Now, he's fought 4 times this year, and that's amazing, but it's completely against, low opposition, Drew. How do you turn that guy into a contender in the most hottest division in boxing, 135? You got Andy Cruz. You got champions, a load of champions of Top Rank, Baranchyk, okay, Shakur Stevenson, guys who've lost their titles. You've got Zepeda, William Zepeda, and suddenly this guy's supposed to mow down and take over the division. Am I not seeing it personally? I mean, I know the kid is good, but I've seen a lot of hype around fighters lately. Shout out to everybody just joining us in the chat.
I think you take your time with Abdullah Mason and everything. Let him develop because he's very young. You don't want this. That's especially how young he is. You want to take your time with him, and they do have a plan on when they want to contend. And that means that you're actually going to have a step-up fight within the next 2 fights for him. And the thing is, who will be a step-up fight? Like, you can't put him in there with Pedraza. Everybody fought Pedraza already. That, like, you have to look at it like this. Who would you put in there as a step-up fight for him? And then second, by the time he's ready to contend, there's not really going to be the only 2 people that are probably going to be at 135 will probably be Keyshawn Davis and Andy Cruz, the big names. Unless guys from 130 come up and everything. But other than that, Abdullah Mason will be a world champion within a year.
Very interesting. Nando says, hey, he says that Abdullah Mason is the only legit prospect at Top Rank. Interestingly enough, Emiliano Vargas is about the same age, 20 years old. He has fought at 135 very recently. I think he just moved up to 140. I don't ever see Top Rank putting their 2 top, prospects. They don't seem to do that. They like to pool. I don't know if the kid's ready for someone like Harusyan, who already fought Shakur Stevenson. But he needs to get his feet wet with somebody much, much better, Drew. I don't see the path. Let me know what path you guys would take. And Santel Media says, for your information, Xander's opponent is trained by Robert Garcia, Damian Samurai Sosa. I don't remember much about Damian Sosa. Please let me know if he had a long layoff or maybe a new coaching thing. Nobody's weak in Robert Garcia's gym. But I was expecting him to jump into the category of some more well-known names at 154. But I don't know. What's that, Drew?
No, I was thinking about like his comment, legit prospect, Rich Torres. I don't know if you could call him a legit prospect, but I think that he's in the wrong weight class.
Yeah, and even Keyshawn Davis, who I see here mentioned, man, even Keyshawn Davis is struggling to raise his level. He's already fought like who you just mentioned earlier, the former Puerto Rican champion and whatnot. But you don't see Top Rank ever matching in-house guys like that. Something that I see more commonly with PBC doing that. They seem to think it's almost like a farm system. Like one of these guys is going to break out and become a star. So in the meantime, let's not pit them against each other. I want to see more. But speaking of that Top Rank card, man, there was some good news on that card because that Guido Vianello, the Roman heavyweight, I don't know if he was ever a contender. He was kind of a guy on the fringe of the top 10. He had a really good fight, that last fight against that African fighter, but he ended up losing steam. And I thought recalling he won that fight. No, but he lost that fight in a close fight. He gets an opportunity against Makhmudov, the Canadian Eastern European fighter who I've seen on Riyadh season. And for a co-main event, man, I was shocked and happy for the Roman fighter. Why, Drew? He busted up Makhmudov, a beast. This guy, Makhmudov, is a beast of a specimen. He busted up his face. It was only a matter of time. Kind of the same story in the main event, Drew. Does this put Guido Vianello as someone now, like just 2 weeks ago, Bacoli wasn't really being talked about as a fringe contender in this heavyweight division. Now we got a new name. Maybe somebody else to add to the mix as a worthy opponent in the top 10 heavyweight. What did you guys think about that Guido performance busting up Makhmudov's face? Drew, what was your take on that? I'll put the picture up on Makhmudov. His face was busted.
Thing is, where was this when he fought AJ Jabba and everything? I thought when he fought a Jabba, I thought he would clearly, in some cases, outmatch and everything. He didn't box the way he did against this guy, and he didn't use his gifts because, tell you the truth, I thought he had a great chance of beating a Jabba, but this was somebody. This guy was Makhmudov was like tailor-made for him, style-wise and everything. Like I really think if we look at it now, you either got him there. A Jabba rematch or a potential Jared Anderson fight.
Yeah.
Or you got him another heavyweight fight because, tell you the truth, now you got to look at it like this. If Top Rank's got to realize, they got to start seeing what they got with the heavyweights.
Okay,
now.
Let's remind everybody what they got. They got Richard Torres, the silver medalist from Tulare, California, who hasn't fought anybody good. You got Baby Anderson, who was supposed to be the standout of the group, who they said was going to be the next great American heavyweight. Shout out to Nando. He says Vianello versus Anderson. The loser leaves town. I love that. Who else they got, Drew? They got Guido. Don't they have a...
Makhmudov is possibly done now. They don't like. I don't really see nothing that they can do with him. And anything. He's first of all, this was a crossroads fight for him. He's 35. He's 19-2 now. Both of his defeats were stoppages, and now we have to realize, we have to look at where they take him at. Torres, they're going to have to start up in his competition now. He's 10-0, 10 knockouts. you got to start up in the competition. Like, seriously, you got to see where he's weak at and where his positives are at. If he can really knock out somebody at a higher level, and like everybody's opposite, hypothesis of Torres is it does it turn out to be true? Because I'm not the only one that thinks that he should be campaigning at cruiserweight first. Torres. I had a couple people I talked to about this, and they agreed to what my point was. He should be campaigning at cruiserweight and everything, because I think he'll be a champion at cruiserweight.
Drew, I'm not going to argue with you. Since the inception of his professional career after the Olympics, where he placed with the silver medal, I thought the same thing. I thought, like most Olympians, a lot of them seem to come down at least one weight class to compete as professionals. His size, I thought he'd be a great. Listen, I could see him fighting Jai Opetaia. I think that would be a fantastic matchup. He's yet to be put in with big heavyweights, and Anderson had yet to be put in with really like super heavyweights. So we don't know how he would respond. Now, also,
that's another thing.
Yeah, Drew. I'm so sorry, but another thing. What about Jalalov? Isn't he co-promoted by Top Rank as well? Jalalov, the gold medalist.
No, like that's another name that they got to look at. But if you look at it like this, I don't think I don't think he will beat Okatai Torres. I think Okatai is moving up to heavyweight. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he moves up to heavyweight. And I think he's going to be a force at heavyweight. And because if you look at the heavyweight landscape, by the time he moves up to heavyweight, it will be for the taking, because you realize Fury, if he loses again, is likely retiring. He might retire anyway after the fight. Usyk is fighting the 40, but he's not good. Usyk may retire by the time Okatai moves up. AJ's likely going to be gone by then. You'll have Daniel Dubois, which is a very beatable fighter and everything. He's been beaten twice. He's been stopped twice. And I will favor Okatai to beat Dubois. Joyce will be gone. Zhang will be gone. Wilder's gone. You got Anderson, Big Baby Anderson. I think Anderson gets destroyed by Okatai and everything. We just realized what Big Baby Anderson was exposed, and he's very poor defense. And he thinks he's slick, and he's not. He does not have the defense, the head movement, and everything. And it was shown in that fight. So can he come back from it? Yes, he can. But he has to seriously stop saying that I'm here for the money only. I'm here for legacy. If you're not here for legacy, retire. You're wasting everybody's time that's training you, because they're training you for you to become a world champion, not to just make money. It makes them look better if you become a world champion. But if we look at this landscape of the heavyweights, it's more favorable to someone like Okatai moving up in the next year or two.
Yeah, Drew, your thoughts on whether Opatai should stick around? Obviously, you said the writing's on the wall for him to make the big move up to heavyweight, but like Usyk, who came before him, wouldn't it be nice to unify and become undisputed at cruiserweight before making that big move?
I think, here's the thing. I think he's going to be avoided in unification belts. I think this would be the easiest path. One of the easiest paths for a cruiserweight to become undisputed. But I think he's going to be avoided, because I don't think none of these other champions compare to him on skill level.
Not Zurdo Ramirez. Look at Drew's face. Drew, by the way, speaking of the cruiserweight division and Jai Opetaia, I read today that Maurice Brady's, who Usyk said was the toughest fight of his career at cruiserweight, that he announced his official retirement. Now, he comes in at a little bit over, I think he was 39, and he had to rehab from the first fight. He had a pretty tough injury to overcome. And like the main event of this past Saturday, of course, Christian Mbilli versus Sergey Derevyanchenko, Derevyanchenko's going to find himself in that awkward position where that might have just been it, Drew. We may have just seen the end of his career this past Saturday, because coming off a bicep tear like he'd suffered, that's easily a year to a year and a half.
I gotta say this because I see a lot of comments on Twitter and everything during that fight that the fight should have been stopped. And I'm just gonna say this. And I was like, why? Why not? Why stop the fight?
Right. You're talking about Timothy Bradley, huh? You're talking Timothy Bradley.
Because of his bicep tear? Here's the thing. I'm going to explain something to everybody here. To a point. What is Sergey Derevyanchenko's record?
He had five losses coming into it.
13-5. Who did he have close losses against that should have been possibly overturned, that should have possibly been wins for him? Munguia, Triple G. He clearly beat Triple G. I look at it like this. This was his last opportunity to fight at this level. His last chance to get that title shot. And I look at it like this. He tore his bicep in round 3, I believe it was. And I'm going to say this to you guys right now. I was okay with Andre Brazil letting him fight on. For the simple fact that this was his last chance to get a title shot, to get a big fight for himself. And the dude was not being knocked down. The dude was still throwing with that bad arm. The dude, when it looks like he was going to get hurt by Mbilli, came back and nailed a couple punches. Even hurt Mbilli in round 7.
Yeah, I did notice that, Drew.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He earned the right to continue on and went that 10 rounds. Because why? Because if he would have got knocked out, if you would have stopped him, you not only take his shot away from him, but you take away another opportunity at a gatekeeper payday for that guy. And you possibly put him as retirement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is why the fight should have not been stopped. And then Billy did not really hurt him at all. And I think that people really need to look at it. Let's look at it like this. It was Christian and Billy's responsibility to end that night once that injury happened. It was his responsibility to end that night. It shouldn't have to be Andre Brazil's responsibility to end that night. It's Christian and Billy's responsibility to knock out, to stop Derevyanchenko, and he could not hurt him. He could not knock him out. He could not even knock him down, Dave. He fought with one arm for 7 rounds against Christian Mbilli and made Christian Mbilli look the way he did in that fight. And I'm going to say, and I'll say this right now, my answer is this. Does he deserve a Canelo payday? He deserves it more than Edgar Berlanga does.
Well,
does he beat Canelo? Hell no.
Well, you heard it here
Does
first,
he
guys,
beat?
from Drew right now.
Does he beat? Does he beat Jaime Munguia? No.
Really?
Does he beat a Caleb Plant? No.
Really?
Does he beat a Pacheco? Maybe. Does he beat a
Berlanga?
William Scully? I would probably say yeah. But the top three guys at 168, he does not beat.
Very interesting.
He gets stopped. He'll probably get stopped by all three of them.
Very, very interesting. I think the most electrifying fight of the bunch is obviously going to be, and high risk for Jaime Munguia, will be the Jaime Munguia fight. But I've got some interesting graphics here. I have the CompuBox, Drew. We talked about that injury. And I was watching the fight with my wife, and I'm, obviously Tim Bradley's spinning the narrative that stop this fight, man. Do it what's best for his career. But honestly, with his late age and I have to give him his flowers, man. Sergey Derevyanchenko has been in some of these toughest fights. He's already fought Gennady Golovkin, earned $10 million along his professional career in the sport of boxing, over 300 amateur fights. He's never been stopped, Drew. Never. And that was obviously on the guy's mind. I may have 5 losses, but in all of those losses, they were against top opposition. I do not want to go down my legacy that I was stopped. If this is my last fight, let it be known Sergey Derevyanchenko was stopped by nobody, including Gennady Golovkin. Drew, in round 3 and 4, Derevyanchenko outlanded Christian Mbilli. Unless I'm blind, I see that he won round 3 and 4, and that's maybe around the time that he had sustained that bicep tear, which looked nasty. It could have been a draw going into the 5th round. And usually, Drew, I don't know what they do in Canada, but 4 rounds, usually if it's an injury like that, it goes to the scorecard. Could have easily been walked away with either a draw or no contest. But no, he soldiered on. He wanted to keep going. And he did perform in spots admirably well, kind of exposing Mbilli, who is an incredibly, high output athletic fighter, a guy who can seriously bang, but at the same time, his defense comes secondary, and he was getting hit with shots like this with one hand, just one hand.
Here's the thing, you want to know who Mbilli is? John Pascal, but with a gas tank. That's all he is. He is John Pascal with a gas tank. That's all he is.
I think John Pascal did become a champion. He did become a champion.
He did become a champion. But it doesn't mean, but here's the thing. When he was outmatched, he was outmatched. When this dude steps up, he could very, very easily be outmatched also. He really takes a lot of shots. He's not that's the one thing about him. He fights the same way as Pascal does. But Pascal had a stamina issue. This guy doesn't. Doesn't mean that he's going to be a guy that's going to hurt you, because tell you the truth, if Mbilli has to hurt you in order to have success. If Mbilli can't hurt you and you're moving forward on Mbilli, and Billy's a sitting duck. That is your way. And if you can outbox, if you're a slick boxer and you can outbox him for 12 rounds or 10 rounds, whatever you see the size to fight you, he can easily be outboxed and everything. And the only thing is, the weaknesses are there where he comes forward. That is a gift and a curse. It's a bigger curse because you have no defense. And the only thing you have going for you moving forward is you have a gas tank. Now, he hasn't tasted power yet from somebody. That's just why I said Munguia knocks him out. I will bet a knockout with Hyman Munguia knocks out Christian Mbilli. And I know people are high on Mbilli and everything, but his last couple fights, including this one, when I got to see him fight and everything, all I see was Pascal with a gas tank. Really, nothing really that special. He's very beatable. Does he deserve a Canelo fight? Yeah, he deserves it more than fucking Ivan Berlanga. He deserves it more than William Skull because he'll put up a better fight than those two. Way better fight. Now, if Canelo was on the back end of his career and there's evidence of it, yeah, we could probably say that, but no, not now. I don't think he'll beat Canelo now. And we're gonna look at it like this. I really think if we're gonna look at this whole thing about Canelo, it's how that he's gonna move up or he's gonna retire after this fight. So,
Drew, are we still live?
yeah.
Gosh, it's like frozen on my end. Okay, cool. I apologize, guys. It looks like the chat. Let me see if I can move comments over to the chat. Something happened. We're definitely still live. Well, I see, Drew, you walked away. Thanks a lot, Chicano. Yes, this streaming software has been a nightmare. So the comments are going to be frozen, but we'll soldier on with the show, Drew. We are going to see Jaime Munguia make his debut on Top Rank any minute. So that being said, he's being co-promoted. Oscar said he has not left my stable. It's obvious. Lots of great names in that division that are kind of hoping to get the attention of Canelo Alvarez. You've got that guy, William Skull, as an IBF. He will be in line to fight for that IBF title that Canelo Alvarez was stripped of, right? So William Skull is a potential future opponent. Christian Mbilli, though, likely has the easiest task of making a fight with Jaime Munguia because Jaime Munguia is now suddenly, like Oscar said, I'm going to co-promote him using the Top Rank platform. Diego Pacheco, he's with Matchroom, a guy that would make an interesting fight, but how often has Top Rank been making fights with Matchroom? Caleb Plant, PBC, I think that'd be a great fight. Edgar Berlanga, eventually, if he's not damaged goods, another guy.
He easily beats Berlanga. He stops Berlanga.
Question is, what will Eddie Hearn do after Canelo Alvarez destroys him? Earlier in the show, I was talking about it's becoming really personal. He's using all his platforms, and I'm talking about Edgar Berlanga. He's getting the attention of casual boxing fans. I've got casual boxing fans that follow me on YouTube and whatnot, and they're interested in what's going to happen September 14th, Drew. Will Canelo give mercy upon Edgar Berlanga, or will he leave him no room for mercy?
Here's the thing. This is going to tell you what we're in store for him. I think he should have him knocked out inside 5 rounds. Now, if this goes to decision, I really believe that Canelo could be possibly a decline because I think if he lets him go a little bit, he might let him go to round 8.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What's here? Nando said that the fight between Jaime Munguia and Christian Mbilli would be a great fight to see who gets an opportunity for the IBF belt. That has been stripped away from Canelo. He's no longer undisputed. That would lead a path to a lot of guys who want to be champion at 168. Canelo has 3 of them. I'm sure Caleb Plant is even talking about if I get past his opponent, Macumbi, on that Canelo fight, he thinks he should get a rematch potentially at Canelo. There's a lot of people who would like to get a piece of that pie, including Terrence Crawford, Drew. And I want to pivot while we can to talk about that because Terrence Crawford is basically told Turki Al-Sheikh that it's Canelo or bust. They offered him a fight with Virgil Ortiz. We just saw Virgil Ortiz in a fight of the year contender with Bohacek. obviously, I've said it even on the roundtable on this show. If I'm in Terrence Crawford's shoes, I'm not going to waste any time fighting a guy with an interim title. I'm going right after Fundora, or I'm going after the winner of Tim Tszyu, who that's another vacant belt, a unification. I'm going to try to become undisputed at 154. But no, he said I'm not. He basically told Turki Al-Sheikh, get me the Canelo fight. What is happening with that? Is he going to stick around, become undisputed in 3 weight classes? Or is he really only want to fight Canelo or bust?
I think he should stop chasing the Canelo fight. Like, Canelo should not be entertaining this fight. He's right not to do so because he gets no credit for beating Terrence Crawford. And Turki, why the hell does he want this fight so badly? Seriously, it's a miss. It's really a guy coming up from 2 or 3 weight classes. Come on now. That didn't go well the first time. Seriously, I don't want to see that. Like, the American fight fans want to see him fight Benavidez. And, like, tell you the truth, like, people are like, oh, he's making the big fights. He's making the big fights. But let's look at it like this. Yeah, he made a couple big fights, but here's the issue. But he made some bad decisions on how to put them on pay-per-view and how to promote them and prices and everything. So if we look at it, yeah, you made big fights, but none of them are pay-per-view. Well, pay-per-view, like, he's failing to realize that the pay-per-view market's dead.
Yeah. Oh, man. Do I want to talk about that? Shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. Don't forget to hit that like button. It definitely helps with the algorithm. Shout out to Wiley Coyote. He says, are you thinking of rocking any merch? Oh, we have for so long, and it's finally about time we come up with a t-shirt with a nice logo and some t-shirts and some hats. It's definitely on the back burner. I definitely want to do that, Drew. Speaking of low pay-per-view numbers and Terrence Crawford and Turki Al-Sheikh, man, it's being reported that fight had a live gate. That means how much money they brought in at the box office of $7 to $8 million. With the production value, it was a lot of production value, Drew. I think that I heard that they paid just for Eminem $5 million for an appearance, and they only brought in $7 to $8 million from live ticket sales, and then the pay-per-view only sold about 100,000. Whoa, what is going on? Like, if you don't see the writing on the wall. And then today I'm listening to Tim Bradley, and he's giving everybody a guilt trip that boxing fans aren't real fans because we don't buy the pay-per-view, because we did not pay to see Terrence Crawford fight. Not that we didn't watch it, he's addressing a lot of boxing fans. But how do you get over the fact that these pay-per-views are now, the Canelo one's going to be coming in at $89.99, and yet the bad apples are boxing fans? Come on now, Timothy Bradley. That we're not. He said that he basically saying that supporters of Jake Paul are better fan base because they'll pay to see him fight 61-year-old Mike Tyson. But real boxing fans like you and I, well, we're too cheap and we'll just pirate it, or we'll fire stick the damn thing.
Does Timothy Bradley realize that it's on Netflix and people already paid for memberships? Or did he take too many beatings from Prendikov and Manny Pacquiao in his career?
He might have forgotten. I forgot the fight is free. Did I forget that? Is that fight? That's really free. That's not on DAZN pay-per-view. He was talking about that people are going to fight for the Jake Paul, but he might have been thinking about past fights, Drew. You're absolutely correct. This shit is free on Netflix. This is going to be the first time they're offering it to subscribers of Netflix, which I think is great. See, even Jake Paul, a non-traditional boxer, he gets it. He's like, I'm gonna partner with somebody, Netflix, like what should have happened with PBC and Amazon. I'm gonna partner with somebody who's willing to put up the money for fights, and we'll all get paid through that. Okay, it's not free. You pay to Netflix. Because I remember a certain time when DAZN, remember that shit when DAZN said, you're going to pay $9.99 like Netflix. It's going to be cheap, $9.99. But you're going to get Canelo. You're going to get Canelo for free. No more pay-per-views. That was a load of bullshit. Load of bullshit. No pay-per-views. That Canelo thing blew up so quick. The writing is on the wall, guys. You go buy a brand new car, you are not going to see a brand new car with a CD player. Oh, where's the CD player? Oh, bro, it's 2024. There's no CD players in cars. The pay-per-view model's dead. It's been dead. This is why Canelo Alvarez is... Did you know, Drew, that ain't nobody in Mexico going to pay for the Canelo fight on September 14th? It's free.
No.
It's free. It's going to be on whatever Mexican TV network. It's free. And everybody in Mexico will watch. And they're going to pay a lot for commercials because all those Mexican companies that want to have their products featured during a Canelo fight, or even though he is fighting a 61-year-old. Let me know, guys. Are we still on here? It appears that. Wally Coyote says, bro, I got a 50 disc stack in the trunk. I remember those, man. I definitely remember those CD changers. This weekend is pretty bad for boxing, Drew, except Wednesday night. Speaking of 154-pound division, Pro Box has Jarrett Hurd, who was a champion at 154, versus Jason Rosario, another champion at 154, who, last I remember, Jason Rosario got knocked out by Brian Mendoza, who I have interviews on my channel, guys. Go back and watch the interviews before he fought Serhii Bohacek. Brian Mendoza knocked out Jason Rosario. And who knows who knocked out Jarrett Hurd, but they're going to be fighting for free on YouTube this Wednesday at a new division, 160. Welcome to the club. The likes of Danny Garcia, the likes of 40-year-old Lara. The middleweight division's got some new players. It's got some new players, Drew. Fresh blood, fresh old blood. But that's what makes Pro Box great, man. Pro Box, this crossroads fight on a Wednesday. Are you guys going to be tuning in? Are you tuning? Drew, you should be tuning in. There was a Philadelphia fighter that had a championship at 154. I believe Jarrett Hurd took his championship. What was the Philadelphia fighter's name?
What, J-Rock?
J-Rock. And by the way, J-Rock is doing great. I seen his, he brags about, he doesn't brag. He posts about his real estate portfolio, Drew. He spent his money wisely. Shout out to him, to J-Rock, who knew what to do with his money, man. He invested his money wisely. But yeah, former guys at 154, crossroads fight this Wednesday. If that's not good enough for you, which Pro Box usually puts on a good card, you get to look forward to Floyd Mayweather in Mexico. Floyd Mayweather versus the son of a mafia gangster, Gotti III, in Mexico, in an exhibition. Wow, what a Saturday night. Yeah, but you're just beaming with excitement, Drew. Stay home for Mayweather in Mexico. They should put that fight in every Mexican restaurant in Las Vegas this Saturday. The Zone should just say, you know what, guy, we got this promotion. You want to play it at your restaurant or bar, you could play Floyd Mayweather and put the DAZN logo on there. We'll let you stream that shit for $19.99. That's what's up in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, not much.
Well, that's our Wednesday, and that's the Saturday, Drew. I wanted to mention, I just read that, speaking of Brian Mendoza, who, like I said, lost a very brutal fight to Serhii Bohacek. Serhii Bohacek looks like he's going to find himself on the undercard of Usyk, the next Usyk card, because he really impressed Turki Al-Sheikh. Now, Brian Mendoza, who lost to him, he's got a new trainer, and I wanted to give a shout out to them. Bob Santos, he's left the Cuban coach, and he's moving to San Jose's Bob Santos, who Bob Santos also trains Mario Barrios. So now the two of those guys are inseparable. I've seen them at fights just hanging out. You know, Mario's got a baby on the way, and those two guys are inseparable. Brian Mendoza finds himself with a new training staff. Like I said, shout out to San Jose 408, Bob Santos and his team. Man, it's a thin weekend, like I said. I'm looking forward to preseason more than I am boxing this weekend. But I'll let Drew the final talk, man. It's been about a good hour, and I appreciate everybody that's joined us. Drew, what's going on, man? Give us a good rant.
Tell you the truth, man, I gave too many rants already and everything. Let's look at it like this. I want everybody to look at something and everything, and just let's look at it. Look at the landscape right now that we're looking at in boxing. And like, people gotta really start accepting shit and everything. This is fucking bullshit. Really is. Like, I like tell you the truth, Dave. This is why we're doing what we're doing. Why we're talking about football and everything. Why we're going to change the name of the channel to Shoe Shine Sports from Shoe Shine Boxing. Because let's look at it like this. Is there a legitimate market after Canelo retires?
That's a great question. No.
Fuck no.
Nobody takes over the sport of boxing when Canelo retires. Not Gervonta Tank Davis. Not the Mexican monster, potentially. Well,
And like, no, no, because here's the thing. Terence Crawford, yeah, I have to admit, he does not sell much. Sells a little bit, not much. Now, is it all his fault? No, because here's the thing. The thing that started that off was Bob never gave him the Manny Pacquiao fight. Now, I blame Bob mostly for that top rank problem, because you should have given him the Manny Pacquiao fight. You put that kisser here, and he's about to leave. You should have matched him up with Manny Pacquiao. Now, Tank Davis. Tank Davis has his 200,000 pay-per-view buys without Ryan Garcia. And, like, makes himself look good enough to say that people are not going to run to fight him now. But here's the thing. People know what the truth is about him. And he was on that protection program for so long. He's in his own protection program now. And then you got guys that don't know their worth. Shakur Stevenson, for a change. Going with the wrong approach to how to carry himself, how to get his profile name up there. Using other people's names for clout. Just to fight a guy that you could have fought the number 3 contender for your title. You could have fought the number 4 contender. You could have fought the number 5. You could have fought number 6. Could have fought number 7. But you chose to fight the 13th ranked contender, Joe Cordina. A guy that was just stopped.
coming off a loss.
Yeah, a stoppage loss against a guy that was not a knockout puncher. So, Mr. Hashtag chase for greatness. Yeah, you not only your fucking I need a pillow every time I watch you, but hashtag chase for greatness. You shouldn't use it anymore. You should get a copyright strike every time you use that fucking bullshit hashtag now, because tell you the truth, if anything, people would have been all right if you would have fought like the likes of Andy Cruz. And then when you got confronted by one of those guys that you use name for clout at face to face, and he offered you out right there and there and said, fuck the signing fight contract, I'll fight you right now. You chose to play around still. And now, when the dude comes back, you're on his hit list. And you're probably going to lose to him. Because the way that you fight, you're too defensive. it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass one day, especially if a dude can cut the wing off on you. Shakur Stevenson, depending on how he's messed up, would not retire undefeated. He's going to lose a couple fights.
He's back in camp. He's back in camp with an undisclosed dance partner. But like you said, it looks like it's going to be, is it Cordina, right?
Yeah, Cordina. And let's look at it like this. We look at everything, and the people that really, there's a lot of people that make this sport look like a joke. Like Ryan Garcia, he makes the sport look like a joke. The way that he goes and gets an unfair advantage and outweighing people and everything. Yeah, he beat the balls of Devin Haney. Yeah, he probably did it on the juice, but it doesn't help with his skill. Devin Haney clearly couldn't defend against the left hook. And that's the thing about it. When you got videos out there of Devin Haney and his entourage jumping a Mexican fan at a amusement park.
Drew, I want a shout out to Chicano Prophet, because like I said, it was a slow week and here we are doing Drew's rant, and I wanted to rant on that, Drew. I'm going to do it really quickly because I do need to wrap up the show. But listen, Drew, it was last year that I saw Sinisa Estrada, and we invited one of our couple friends from the Los Angeles area to come. They were in town and they come through. They're a couple, right? She's all excited and she's like, I can fight too, right? She's like telling her boyfriend, she goes, tell them about that time I whooped that girl's ass. And I looked at her, I said, oh yeah? Where did that happen? The county fair? She looked at me, got quiet, and busted up laughing. You know why, Drew? Because everybody knows that fools get ratchet at the LA and Orange County Fair. She busted up laughing and we didn't say anything else about it. She didn't mention anything else about whooping ass. Drew, Devin Haney does not need to be going to the Orange County Fair or the LA County Fair. It is no surprise to me that some SAs or some fools stepped up to him, or maybe it was vice versa. But Devin Haney, you're lucky that your so-called feather-fisted punch didn't land, because you just saved yourself about $1 million. Because in California, and you born and raised in California, you were going to get sued by whoever you had popped. So you were so lucky you landed nothing on that Mexican kid. By the way, Ryan Garcia offered to train. He said, hey, where is this Mexican kid? I'll train him. You want to fight?
And now you want to making Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia too. Like, let's look at it like this. I really you gotta look at it like this. Devin Haney's an afterthought now.
He could be. He's lucky. He is so lucky. Drew, he's just lucky that the welterweight division is bare and empty. Aside from Boots Ennis and a couple of guys who've got titles, Mario Barrios, Brian Norman, it could be easy work for Devin Haney entering the 147 division.
I don't think so.
But I'm hearing they're going to be looking at McKinson, the guy that Virgil Ortiz beat up. Guy's got like 5 knockouts or less. McKinson as being a potential opponent.
Yeah, but Liam Pryor at 140. But look at it like this. I said this is the same thing. Like, but Devin is really it. You can't, if he can't hurt nobody, he's at a huge disadvantage. It sucks like Teofimo if he moves up to 147. He has to be more of a boxer because he ain't going to be able to have that power come up with him at 147. So it's just...
Maybe we'll finally get those two to fight in a whole new weight class. Teofimo's chasing a pipe dream. Another guy chasing a pipe dream fighting Bud Crawford at welterweight. Bud Crawford, in case Teofimo didn't get the news, but Bud Crawford moved up to 154. Another pipe dream.
Yeah. He I don't understand Teofimo's logic. And like, dude, I don't think a lot of people take him seriously, really anymore. Like if you looked at it like this, nah, they like he's a 140-pound champion. He's likely moved up to 147 and everything. I don't know why he's moving up to 147. I really think that he should stay at 140 and everything and try to go undisputed. There's still fights for him there. So, but I don't know, like, because like the champions keep on changing and everything, because there's always like, oh, he should win, and there's always being a fucking upset and everything. But I don't know, like I look at it with boxing and everything. I really think in the next couple of years, boxing is going to hit an all-time decline, and unfortunately, like, it's just gonna go. It could potentially go away, and like people treat boxing more like a business than a sport nowadays.
It's the Drew. It's the cash grab sport, and that's exactly what Jake Paul is. He's coming in. I think I heard Timothy Bradley say it's a smash and grab. It's a smash and grab. Y'all know what that is in California, and hopefully it's not in your community, but that's exactly what it is. Drew, it's been a good hour, man. It's been a solid hour. I hope to see you back this week on something on this channel, but we will be back next Monday, guys. I appreciate. Shout out to everybody. Nerd who joined us, Rami, Chicano Prophet. I saw Jasmine Love. Everybody that joined, make sure you hit that like button before you leave the show. We will be back in some way or another this week. Hopefully, Drew, I'll get you back on and back to business on Monday, man, for more boxing talk.
Yeah, and one more thing. Lord, get the fuck off my dick.
Who?
Seriously, man.
All right, man. I'll see you guys next Monday, man.
Don't be so dramatic. Get the fuck off my dick.
All right, we'll see all you guys next Monday night. Keep tuned here. Make sure you have your notifications on for the shoe shot. We'll see you then. Peace out, everybody.